What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. It's Top 5 Tuesdays, and today's Top 5 are going to be my top 5 most powerful Jedi post Order 66. And I'm going to explain what all of that means if you're not a big Star Wars fan. But first, guys, I just want to reciprocate some good energy. I was just out of town on a nice family trip. Got to plug back into like my source energy and my family, and it felt great. I hope you are having some great experiences in life right now. And if you're struggling, just a little note: there's always light at the end of the tunnel. It will be all right. So I just wanted to kind of reciprocate that energy, just put it out there for you guys. A lot of the reason that I even do this, the YouTube channel, is just to have more of an organic way to like let my energy come out to others that are just kind of loving the things that they love, entertainment, nerdy things. It's all kind of based around that. But really, what it comes down to is I want to put good energy out there and focus on these things instead of some of the bad things and different things like that that affect us on a daily basis. So, that's all I wanted to say about that. But, good vibes, and I hope you're feeling good vibes as well. While I'm on the topic of good vibes, the giveaway in September is still going on, and I wanted to announce the winners because I know I kind of neglected that when I was out of town. I wanted to announce the winners of the drawing for last week. These three people are awesome. First, we're going to start with your favorite skinny nerd, Christian. Yes, you won again. It's literally mathematically impossible for you almost to not win at least one of these drawings because of how active you are in the comment section. Brother, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I remember being at 30 subscribers and trying to get to that 100, and I was like, holy crap, this is really hard. And you were always, really supportive on the comment section, liking the videos, watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I do. So I'm going to send you all that stuff digitally. Some of it you already have, but some of it you don't. So I will send that out to you. The next person was SSGS Goku. It's really cool that I selected your name, man. I appreciate all of the shout outs. You shoot me information sometimes. One of my really good videos actually came from when you sent me the news bit about Legion, which I did research on, did a real quick video. That thing's got like over 1,000 views right now. It's awesome, and I really appreciate it, man. So I'm going to send you a direct message. I'm going to try to get at you and give you some of this awesome stuff from Short Fuse, too. I mean, honestly, guys, the anthology that Short Fuse put together is awesome. So I'm really happy and honored to give that to you guys. So look for that. The other one is Jason LMR : thank you so much, man. Thank you for commenting, for being active. It was awesome to select your name. You've won as well. So let's get right into this video. So basically, guys, post Order 66. If you're deep when it comes to Star Wars, you're going to know exactly what this means. But maybe you don't. Maybe you kind of do, but you don't remember. So Order 66 was what Palpatine did in Revenge of the Sith. That was an order pre-programmed into all of the clone soldiers in all the clone armies for them to eliminate the Jedi. On a weird side note, there are actually some people that believe that most of the Jedi actually knew about this order. And in Clone Wars, we do get the 501st understanding the chips that are implanted in their brains, and one of them malfunctions, and he executes Order 66 early. It's like, oh man, so cool. You should definitely watch Clone Wars if you have not. But Order 66 eliminated probably 99% of the Jedi in the galaxy. So I find this, before that, it's a much bigger pool, and I might do another top 5 or a video about who were the strongest in the heyday of the Jedi. But what I'm literally talking about is from that 1%, the 99% that were eliminated, who within that 1% were the most powerful Jedi, okay? And Rebel Season 3 is dropping very, very soon. So you're going to find some of the people on this list, actually the majority of the list, come from people that are on that show. And it's canon, guys. I'm telling you, if you don't watch Rebels, you really should. It's incredible. I have a lot of love for Dave Filoni, who is the creator of that show. He actually went to the college that I went to. He came and spoke when I was, I believe, a sophomore. Listening to this guy talk about George Lucas and his personal journey to become a shepherd of Star Wars, it was awesome. It was life-changing. So I really, really like Rebels. So let's get right into the list. Now, honorable mention. This is not a character from Rebels, and this might be an odd choice, but honestly, it's going to circle back to a pick later on in my list, and I think it's important for a couple different reasons. This would be Ben Solo, the son of Han Solo and Leia Organa. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Obviously, he's no longer a Jedi. He turned on Luke. He turned on Luke in his academy. But up until 6 years before The Force Awakens, and I believe we have confirmed that he is around 30 years old. So let's say from an early age to the age of 24, this man was studying directly under Master Luke Skywalker. Directly. He was his apprentice, his protege. And just some of the abilities that we saw him utilize in The Force Awakens, including the interrogation, including the Force stasis, these are abilities that must have been taught to him by Master Luke Skywalker. The dude is incredibly strong. When he was just tapped into the Force, because remember, his dark side training has not been completed at all. At the end of that movie, Snoke says, I must complete his training. It's time. And I think that Ben's journey as Kylo has been to win the favor of Snoke in order to finish that training. But I'm talking in a space that we didn't get to see, and just pulling things from, like, Obi-Wan, he didn't do any Force stasis. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only people that Master Yoda a little bit. But what I'm saying is, just from the small pieces of the puzzle that we get, we have to give Ben Solo the honorable mention because he's an incredibly powerful Force user. I would have loved to see him as a Jedi, and I'm sure he was really, really powerful. So that's my honorable mention pick. Let's go to number 5. Now, as I'm getting more into the list itself, I did kind of want to mention I'm going to be basically using 3 categories to determine the power of all of these said Jedi. The first is going to be potential. So not necessarily the power that they have, although that's what the list is based upon, but the potential power that they have. It has to factor in. It simply has to factor in. Like a very, very strong Jedi that maybe is at the end of their potential, I cannot consider them as powerful as somebody who maybe is a little bit less adept, but has an incredible potential, like has showcased in maybe moments of stress or moments of, just tapping into the Force, that they have an incredible capacity for power. So that's a huge factor. The other one is dueling. Obviously, what you can do with a lightsaber, really, really important. A huge determining factor of how powerful you are as a Jedi. And the last category is Force ability. So I'm going to kind of go into that on every one of my picks, just to kind of give you a nice idea of why these people are on the list. So, number 5 goes to Ahsoka Tano. Now, there's going to be a little bit of contention because of this pick, because she's technically not a Jedi anymore. At the end of last season of Rebels, she literally says to Vader, I am no Jedi. But what she really is a gray Jedi, and she's definitely had Jedi training, and by the way, was the apprentice of Master Anakin Skywalker, who, that dude, badass, man. Darth Vader, too, pretty badass. So to study directly under him and to have a lot of interaction with Obi-Wan as well, forged her at a very young age into just an incredible Force talent. But as far as potential goes, I don't think she has much more potential beyond what she's already capable of. That's kind of why she gets the 5 spot and not a little higher. I had to really do some hard thinking about, like, okay, well, where does she fall on this list exactly? Yeah, so that's basically why. Now, as far as dueling is concerned, she is a master duelist. She might even be the best duelist. I really have to, like, kind of sort it out in my mind, because there are people like, for instance, Obi-Wan, not an incredible duelist. However, his defensive form was so flawless that he's racked up wins against great Sith. I mean, he was the first Jedi to defeat a Sith in about 1,000 years when he defeated Darth Maul. And just he's got an incredible form, but as far as an actual duelist, being aggressive and passive, the balance of the two, he's not on the level. He's not even close to the level of Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano can mess around with Vader in his prime, as we saw at the end of Rebels last year. Ahsoka Tano can take on multiple Force users at once that give other Jedi and Force users a lot of trouble. She uses dual wielding, and she's just a beast when it comes to dueling. So her dueling, is literally why she's on the list. I think she's probably top 3 duelist of all time, especially on the Jedi side, and just incredible with the lightsaber. Now, Force abilities. This, once again, not something that I think she's incredibly gifted at. She has showcased an ability, all sorts of different abilities, Force push, this sort of thing. She can tap into the Force, meditate, reach other people. But I think that her path and her sort of walking away from the Jedi Order has like aided and hurt her Force ability. Like, I just don't know if she's at peace with her place in the universe and what the Force is, so I don't believe that she can actually tap into it in the way that some of these other people on this list are going to be able to do. But so that's Ahsoka Tano. She gets my 5 spot in the top 5 most powerful Jedis post Order 66. God, this is going to be a long title if I put all that on there. But in either case, let's go to my number 4. Number 4 is going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, I've just talked a little bit about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, obviously, unprecedented when it comes to his ability to take down Sith. I mean, he took down Vader. Obviously, there's a lot of foolishness by Anakin in that duel. He's an incredible duelist. Like I said, that defensive form, very, very strong. He's wise. He's very, very wise. As far as potential is concerned, I think that's another reason why he doesn't quite crack a little higher on the list. I think he's more or less living at the edge of his potential. However, he was able to transcend and become a Force ghost, and you cannot discount the effect that he had as a Force ghost with Luke in Empire and Jedi, and even at the end of A New Hope. Ben Kenobi was massively influential on outcomes that had big ramifications for the galaxy. And he did this from beyond the grave. So he's quite literally reached, I believe, the point of his potential with that form and with that ability taught to him by Yoda and Qui-Gon. Very, very interesting. So in life and in death, Obi-Wan, I believe, reached his potential as a Jedi. It wasn't quite strong enough to be, power. It's not like raw power, but it is its own form of power. And just really, really incredible. And obviously post-Order 66, helped out a lot, sat on Tatooine, watched Luke. I mean, it's so important, everything that he did. You can't discount him. I'm going to shout out Jose Cortez on here because he loves to tell me how he thinks Obi-Wan is the best Jedi that there ever was. Obviously, I don't agree with you, bro, and you know that because we've argued many times about this. But I have to give props where props are due. Obi-Wan, incredible Jedi, incredible dueling, incredible Force ability, and at the edge of his potential. But I mean, come on, how many people actually reach their full potential in any universe, fictional or real? It's pretty impressive. So Obi-Wan gets the 4 spot on my top 5 Jedi post-Order 66. Now let's get to number 3. Number 3 is actually a very, very favorite of mine, and I love watching the development of this character, and this is Ezra Bridger. Okay, now Ezra Bridger is a Jedi in training. He technically, his master is Caleb Dune, aka Kanan Jarrus, who was a young boy that survived Order 66. And I urge you, even if you don't watch Rebels, go read the comic book, the Kanan comic book. Absolutely incredible, really fun tale of a young boy who survives Order 66 and then becomes a smuggler. He's basically Han Solo, but a Jedi, which is totally unfair, totally badass, but he doesn't even crack this list as far as powers goes. But I love that character. But his student, the young boy on Star Wars Rebels, Ezra Bridger, this kid gets my 3 spot, most powerful Jedi, and here's why. Potential. This is the big determining factor for Ezra. Ezra is strong with the Force, incredibly strong with the Force. He showcases some abilities that even Rey has shown in episode 7. He can touch he's called to certain objects. He has visions when he touches certain objects. He can reach out and speak to other Jedi Masters. He's had conversations with Master Yoda while inside a Jedi temple. Very, very cool stuff. He talks and has influence over animals. Such a cool thing. We've never really seen this from a Jedi, but he literally has the ability to converse and influence animals. And he's utilized this many times during the show to his advantage. And it can be a huge, huge advantage. There are, obviously all sorts of predator and passive and species on all sorts of different planets, and even the space whales. Shout out to the space whales. And to be able to utilize that, it's just such a crazy ability, and his potential to me seems ridiculous. So that's definitely the factor that is most strong. And also his dueling ability, it ain't bad. It sure ain't bad, guys. He's been learning from Kanan for a long time. It looks as though in season 3 he's going to be really, really strong as a duelist, and I'm pretty sure he's getting a little bit of training from Ahsoka Tano. As I said before, probably one of the best duelists of all time. So it's really cool to see his development, his potential, and his force abilities are the thing that drag him up on this list. I am so excited to see the final fate of Ezra. I believe he's going to turn. I believe he might even be a founder of the Knights of Ren and have a lasting effect on the canon of Star Wars. But either way, in this current moment in time, Ezra Bridger gets my number 3 spot as just a young boy. I mean, this kid's incredibly powerful. Watch Rebels! Are you listening to what I'm saying? You need to watch Rebels. Okay, so I'm going to let that go. But that's my number 3 spot, guys. So let's get in to the nitty gritty. Who's the top 2? And I'm sure you probably guessed it, but the order might be something that you didn't assume. And my number 2 spot goes to Master Yoda. Of course, how could I not have Master Yoda on this list? Like Obi-Wan in life and in death, Yoda, major influencer on what happened in the galaxy. Super, super strong. I'm reminded of the moment where he comes in to confront Palpatine and with a wave of the hand knocks out 2 Imperial guards. The Imperial guards are nothing to slouch at, guys. These guys are just like the clones, except on steroids. They're very, very strong. The suits, the weapons, everything they have, top of the line, very, very, very powerful. And with a wave of the hand, knocks them out. He can literally catch Force lightning and repel it. He has the ability to lift incredible objects with the Force. He literally, if it weren't for Dooku utilizing his emotions as a weakness, he could have beat Dooku in a duel. He arguably beat Sidious in a duel at the end of Revenge of the Sith. And then I could almost do a whole video on why I think Master Yoda left and what he meant when he said, "I have failed. Into exile I must go." Because I don't think he's talking about the duel. I do not think that he's talking about that duel and his failure in that duel. I think that he realized as Sidious was cackling in the Senate hall while they were fighting, I think he realized that it didn't matter the outcome of that duel. Sidious had already won. He had failed by being involved in the Galactic War, by pushing the agenda of a dark side lord. And he knew the only way to truly win, and we know this from a conversation he had with Ezra Bridger in Rebels, how do I choose to win? It is just as important as why you fight. So very, very interesting. I mean, he's obviously that midichlorian count is off the charts. We'll probably never hear the word midichlorian again in canon, hopefully. But that is it's analytical. So yeah, you put that up there. Very, very strong. Survives Order 66. Orchestrates basically how the Jedi and Force users around the galaxy are going to react. And what are they going to do now that the Empire has risen? And I believe personally that he is still convening with Master Luke Skywalker and still influencing what is happening in the galaxy. We hear his voice during the vision that Rey has in The Force Awakens. He is still involved. He is a major player, super strong, super powerful in life and in death. Master Yoda. What more can you say, guys? He gets my number 2 spot. Now let's get right into number 1 because I'm feeling it right now. No duh, it's Luke Skywalker. And, shout out to Jose again because, yes, Luke Skywalker, most powerful Jedi post Order 66 in canon. And there's a number of different reasons. I'm going to circle back to what I said at the beginning of this video when it comes to Kylo Ren, okay? Or Ben Solo at the time. Every little ounce of power and ability that we saw out of that character in The Force Awakens must have been a literal microcosm of what Luke Skywalker is capable of. George Lucas said after he finished Return of the Jedi that Luke Skywalker, in his mind and his canon, would go on to be more powerful than any Force user ever had been in existence. That he would do things that were just that would defy reality. A lot of people in the EU took this to heart. I mean, Luke in the EU, and this is not an EU video, but Luke in the EU was capable of incredible, incredible feats. But just using what we saw in Episode 7 from his apprentice, we must surmise that Luke is incredibly powerful, okay? You also have to take into consideration that Snoke fears Luke Skywalker. He doesn't fear anything, this guy. He does not fear anything. But you saw how hell-bent he was on not having Luke Skywalker return to the fold. How important that was for him. He fears Luke Skywalker. And rightfully so, because Luke Skywalker is the Jedi that effectively ended the Sith. I want to say that again. Luke Skywalker is the Jedi that effectively ended the Sith. He ended the Sith. So, and he ended him with passivity. He did not fight them. I think he knew that wasn't the way to truly beat them. He wanted to beat them as an ideology, not just as an entity. And that is wisdom. That is brilliance. As far as potential goes, wow, the sky's the limit, and I cannot wait to see what we see out of Episode 8 when it comes to Luke. We've all heard the rumors about the crazy-ass fight with the Knights of Ren. Please be true. Everybody that's been seeing Hamill at different conventions and things like that say the man is in incredible shape. You add a little wire work on there. I want to see Crouching Tiger, hidden Luke Skywalker, and I want to see him just messing people up, and I think we're going to get it. I've just from everything I've heard about the scenes, it seems like they're going to make this man as powerful as we've all wanted. I mean, come on, we're all Luke Skywalker fanboys. We need to see him in his full glory. So as far as potential, incredible. Dueling, you know, he's not the best duelist, I'll be honest with you. I don't think he could necessarily hang with some of these other duelists on this list. However, you know, and like I said, not an EU video, but in the EU, he was able to just utilize and tap into his Force ability to become a better duelist. And let's not forget, he did defeat Lord Vader at the end of Jedi and could have killed him, but decided not to. And I cannot imagine him being a slouch when it comes to dueling, especially post Episode 6. He just, I believe he's gone to this level when it comes to Force ability, which is that last category I want to talk about, that the dueling almost doesn't matter. I truly believe he's so strong. Like, if that Force stasis that Kylo can utilize is just even a little hint of what Luke is capable of, holy crap. Like, you don't even need a lightsaber. You could just literally kill people. And he did in Return of the Jedi. He just makes those hearts explode for those guards at Jabba's palace. And so, you know, I'm going to just gush, fanboy all over the place. But that's it, guys. That's Luke Skywalker, the number one. And those are my reasons as to why he is the number one most powerful Jedi post-Order 66. So, that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Like the video if you like this sort of thing. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing Top 5 Tuesdays every Tuesday for the foreseeable future. And now, let's check that nerd card. And the question is, what planet was Caleb Dune on when Order 66 was initiated? This is pretty deep cut stuff. You'd have to have read the comic or at least have some kind of knowledge. Answer the question in the comment section below. Guys, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!